Breaking news: Orlando nightclub mass shooting. Thank you AskReddit for picking up where our news has failed. There really needs to be something about this on the front page. Edit. Here's the live feed. https www.reddit.com/levex2tjnk7gg9 want a petition to replace the mods Attribution-ShareAlike. http www.ipetitions.com petition Reddit the replacements of the news moderators. Worst mass shooting in US history. The mods here deserve some recognition. It's up to AskReddit, a sub that has nothing to do with news, to host an uncensored discussion about the largest massacre in the past 15 years. Edit. In the US, unacceptable that it got to this. Respect for the mods here. I live 500 meters from the concert hall called Bataclan in Paris. So I kind of been there. Lost friends, got friends badly hurt. I have nothing smart to say. This is absolute horror. I stand with you from Paris as you guys were with us when we got hurt. Duck those murderers. Love will prevail. Damn, this is so sad. Sorry for not making sense. http://imgur.confl1gv sad. All those ringing phones. Please spread these around. I made these posters, infographics, for non-medical personnel. These instruct you how to stop gunshot and stabbing bleeding before EMS and first responders arrive. With mass shootings like this, time is of the essence and sometimes patients bleed out, waiting for the scene to clear or to be found. English http://mtradio.org Episode 43 Non-Medical English Spanish http://mtradio.org Episode 43 Spanish Non-Medical Russian http://mtradio.org Episode 43 Russian Non-Medical Naked http://mtradio.org Episode 43 Naked Non-Medical Do not let this massacre divide us humans helping humans, anytime, anyplace, any race. Charlie Alvarengenram P. FPC BSEMS. I was playing Rocket League with one of my Middle Eastern friends. When I first heard of this happening, I told him what was going on and he asked if it was one of his people. His English is kinda broken. I said yeah. It was. He was so upset he began crying and got offline. I can't imagine how frustrating this must be. Edit. We ended up losing 4-3, he left mid-game. He got back on and apologized for getting so upset. He started talking about how difficult, rather frustrating, it is to be a Muslim and of Middle Eastern descent. And how he just wants to be here and go to school like any other person. My best friend lives right around the corner from Pulse and spent the night hiding in her closet because she was hearing gunfire but didn't know where it was coming from or what was going on. I can't even imagine how terrifying it must have been for everyone there. Homophobic shooter? So I imagine that Obama will give a televised speech about this shooting sometime today? It would make sense since this shooting is now, unfortunately, historic in its death toll. Here comes hundreds of interviews with Trump and Clinton about what they would do. Edit. In saying this I mean to say that the candidates will probably attempt to exploit this tragedy in an effort to make themselves look better and further their own campaign. That is not to say this isn't incredibly important to discuss, but I find it insensitive that in general politicians use a tragedy for their own personal goals. Should we random acts of pizza the blood donation centers? For anyone who is in Florida and was considering donating blood or plasma, come back on Tuesday to your local blood drives since they have already reached the need volume for today. So come back on Tuesday when the next round is needed. This http www.huffingtonpost.com entry Orlando shooting religionist 575 D7065 E4B0 E39 A28 add 69F? U4HFLHU 8 NKX1 or, from the shooter's father, is from Huffington Post. We're apologizing for the whole incident, read Sadiq's statement. We weren't aware of any action he is taking. We are in shock like the whole country. This had nothing to do with religion. He says his son got very angry when he saw two men kissing in downtown Miami a couple of months ago, and believes that was part of his son's motive. Did edited to remove name, that dumb ducking son of a bitch, not understand that this is going to make people at large more sympathetic to homosexuals and less sympathetic to Muslims? It's not even the horrific, utterly senseless loss of life, it's that even from his perspective, his actions will have the complete opposite effect of what he set out to do in the longer run. He wasn't just an evil fucking idiot, he was an incompetent evil fucking idiot. My sympathies go out to everyone affected by such a horrible tragedy. Love yourself and each other. Fox News reports 6 surgeons completed 26 surgeries overnight. God bless those heroes. Hello there news. The shooting at Pulse is devastating. 2 of my friend's family members were there and thankfully got out. One of them was shot, but will be okay. If you are in the Orlando area, please consider donating blood. They are in desperate need of O-positive, O-negative, and AB plasma blood donors. This story hits so many buttons. Domestic terrorism. Radical Islamic terrorism. Muslim immigrants. Religious attacks on gays. Guns probably legally purchased. Assault rifles. Latino population. Florida gun laws. Another mass shooting. Media spin. It's like every hot-button issue of the day rolled into one horrible tragedy. I wonder what the police tactics were on this one? I hear the gunman took hostages and started executing. I'll be so pissed if it's a repeat of Columbine where the police waited outside for hours while those kids were getting executed. Is there an accurate timeline of events? Not confirmed, but I've seen reports of it lasting hours and I'm wondering what prevented entry. Very interesting insights from his ex-wife. https://www.washingtonpost.com World National Security ex-wife of suspected Orlando shooter. He beat me 201606128A 1963B430B811E68FF77B6C 1998B7A0 story.html. Tied some notable excerpts include, "He was not a stable person," said the ex-wife, who spoke on the condition of anonymity because she feared for her safety in the wake of the mass shooting. "He beat me. He would just come home and start beating me up because the laundry wasn't finished or something like that." And, she added that he wasn't very religious and worked out at the gym often. She said in the few months they were married he gave no signs of having fallen under the sway of radical Islam. So not very religious, and a crazy abusive asshole. Edit, I know that things, and people, can change over time. But this is some of the only evidence of this man's character that I've seen that isn't complete hearsay. Please, feel free to share compounding or conflicting sources, as long as they're at least somewhat legitimate. This stuff is very interesting to me. I think the team at Orlando Regional Medical Center deserves some recognition here. My hat goes off to anyone working there during the time this tragic event was occurring, especially the nurses and surgeons. It takes a lot of gut to be able to keep cool and perform your duties on people so frightened, while under the stress of knowing that people have already died as a result of the event. Stay strong everyone. It's 1:42 a.m. here in Singapore and I'm awake because I need to eat something before I fast for the day. I check Reddit and I'm in shock. I'm numb. It's just tragic, what's happened here. My heart goes out to the victims of this tragedy and their families who are going through this. It's abhorrent and evil what the gunman did. I'm Muslim, and I'm not afraid to say that something needs to change. People need to stop dancing around the concept of this religion as if on eggshells. It's not Islamophobic to criticize it. If it leads to violence such as this, then something needs to change. It's just not right. It is an idea and it is not immune from criticism and analysis. I'm so torn up about this. Ducking hell, man. What this psychopath did was just totally stupid. Things are going to be so much worse. So much worse. For everyone. There will be so much hatred from all sides and I'm so scared. I just want peace for people, but I'm scared as to how things are going to go next. People who live in Orlando, please be safe. I will pray for you. I know many out there will hate me, and I will receive hate for this post, but I pray that you are safe, your families are safe, and that you recover from this disaster. Terrifying and devastating. If you're a member of the LGBT community in Central Florida, from Ocala to Tampa to Titusville, you've been to polls at least once. To us, this didn't just happen in our backyard, it happened in our living room. As someone who witnessed the 2,611 shootings in India, I know what shooting at a crowd in a cramped space feels like. This is the saddest thing I've read today. I stand with you from Mumbai, lots of love. When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping." To this day, especially in times of disaster, I remember my mother's words, and I am always comforted by realizing that there are still so many helpers, so many caring people in this world. Fred Rogers. Everyone is so concerned about the ethnicity and affiliation of the shooter. It's a bit ridiculous. There have been a lot of police, fire department, paramedics, and other heroes that served us today. And I bet you that you could find one white man and one Muslim among them. One Trump supporter, one Hillary supporter, one Bernie supporter, and one political apathetic. One person pro-gun rights, one person pro-gun control. Straight, gay, transgendered, etc. So stop your petty bickering and hoping for a certain outcome here. If your immediate response to any tragedy is hope in the name of some agenda, your priorities are so far out of line. That's walking a gray area between a real human being and a monster capable of committing this atrocity in the first place. Comment worth repeating here from U52 https www.reddit.com or news comments for NPCDBD45 view call.